Okay, this is our second edition to our pho video. Thanks everyone for watching it and your comments, and we were inspired to do a second video on how to make gỏi cuốn or Vietnamese salad rolls. As you can see, we're a bit more prepared this time. Last time was kind of impromptu, so we've laid out all the ingredients out on the counter here, and I'll go through each of them. We have the first important ingredient is pork belly, which is this piece right here. It's from the belly, and there's a layer of the skin and fat and some meat. You want to try to pick a piece that is lean and doesn't have too much fat. If that's too much for you and you want to go on the leaner side, then you can buy pork sirloin, which is just all meat and no fat, very lean. But traditionally it's used we use pork belly. Okay. Secondly, we've got shrimp. These are white tiger prawns. The 26/30, that's the size of the shrimp, and this is usually the size that we like to get. It means there's about 26 or 30 shrimp in 1 pound. The bigger the number, that means the smaller the shrimp. Okay. Next we have some mint. We've got two types of mints there. I need a hand. We've got your regular mint that comes from the store on a stalk like that. And we'll show you how to clean it and serve it. And then we have fish mint, which is kind of a heart-shaped leaf. And not everybody uses it, but we like it. Traditionally, I think it's more the mint, the regular mint that they use. We've got green onions or chives. You can use one or the other, or both. Traditionally, it's in the restaurants you'll see it with chives more than with onions, but we like the onions at home because it's more aromatic and more flavor. We have the vermicelli. Last time when I made the pho video, I said don't buy vermicelli for pho, but this is what you want to buy. Okay. We like this Golden Swallow brand, and I will be going over on how to actually cook it. There's a special way to cook it, so it's very easy to overcook this, and it's all mushy and just not enjoyable. We've got hoisin sauce, just bought like that. We've got leaf lettuce, okay, romaine.
Romaine.
Yeah, and we've got bean sprouts. And one more item is over here is the rice paper. It's called bánh tráng, and this Three Ladies brand, we stumbled upon it when we were at a restaurant in Vegas, and we like it. It's only available in Southern California from what we can see. Here in Vancouver we can't find that brand. There's another brand called the Asian Boy, which is a little boy sitting on some kind of a water buffalo. That's a good brand too. And Red Rose is another brand, but we don't have those packages here today to show you because we like this one, Three Ladies brand. But make sure that it's rice paper, okay, and not wonton wrap or anything like that. The first step that we're going to do is where we need to cook the pork and the vermicelli. We put on 2 pots of water. This one will be for the pork. You want to season your with a bit of salt, because apparently this is your chance to get the flavor into the meat, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to get a pot about that size and that much water. Over here we have a pot for the vermicelli, and I'll definitely be going over how to cook the vermicelli. We're going to just prepare the meat now to cook it. It comes in a big slab like that, and you don't want to put all of that into the pot. It'll be hard to, first of all, it takes a long time to cook, and you can easily overcook the outside of it. Okay, as usual, rinse off the meat. This dish is a very easy to make if you've got all the ingredients. There's actually very little preparation. The only thing you need to cook is the meat, the vermicelli, the shrimp, and making the sauce. We assemble everything else at the table. And this is our fallback plan when we don't know what to make for dinner or we want something quick and easy. The kids love it. They are old enough now to make their own rolls. Maybe we'll get them to demonstrate making the rolls later.
Doesn't really matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
Just so that it's in strips so that when you slice it later it'll be easier to work with.
It's about 3:30 now, and we are planning to, we're just starting the prep work now, and because we have church later on. But when we come back, we will just set the table and eat. Goes into the pot. That takes about 15 minutes to cook or so. 15-20 minutes.
Closer to half an hour.
Closer to half an hour.
The broth, do not throw out because it will be seasoned and becomes soup base.
Soup for the next day. Which is great. Okay, there we go. Okay, when cooking the vermicelli, I like to put the water on and put the vermicelli in before it boils. Because I think if you wait until it boils and you put the vermicelli in, it takes too long to cook it. And then it becomes really just not cooked. You want to put the whole thing in. And while it's boiling, essentially what's happening is that this water is, starting to soak through the strands of noodles and soften it so that by the time it boils, it falls apart, the noodles fall apart, and then it's ready. Okay, so we'll just let that sit for a while. Okay, if you saw from our previous video on pho, where you scoop out just the stuff on the top there, we won't be reboiling this again, so we can go ahead and just take out the stuff. This becomes a really nice broth that's used for the next day. There's always leftover vermicelli and pork and shrimp, and you can just make your own soup the next day, which is great for breakfast. You can see it's gently boiling there. We'll probably turn it down just for a little bit, just so that it doesn't overboil. Alright, I'm putting in the shrimp now, or the prawns. Are these shrimps or prawns?
I think these are prawns.
And I forgot to mention you should buy the headless ones, so you don't have to deal with the heads. Yeah, it gets pink right away. When the prawn is not, when it's raw, it's a little bit see-through, and you will know that it's cooked. I'm going to call it prawn.
Okay.
You'll know that it's cooked when its meat becomes solid white and you can't really see through it at all. You can't see through it. Okay, and it curls up a bit more too. Spider-Man, yes. Okay, you want to watch it until it curls up a bit more than that, almost like a letter C. And you don't want to overcook it. As soon as it looks like it's cooked, you want to take it off the heat and soak it in cold water to stop the cooking process. Let's go back to our vermicelli now, over here, and you can see it's loosened up. It's almost done. I've turned it on to high, and I'm just going to wait until it comes to a boil. But usually I'm quite happy with that, like that already. After many trials and error, I've got the cooking of we've got the cooking of vermicelli process down to a science now. That's actually good.
Just gotta separate them.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's separated. You think it's good? Okay. When the shrimp is ready, you want to just take your strainer scoopy thing and put it into a bowl. You see how dark red it is now? And how it's curled up? You want to save the broth that your shrimp was cooking, and you can add it to the main soup broth, and it adds a really nice flavor to your broth.
Dominic needs to go.
Okay, so remove the shrimp and put it in running cold water to cool it off, and stop the thing.
Make sure it cools completely, because if you turn off the water too soon, it's still actually a little hot. Just let it run.
Our vermicelli is done, as you saw before. So you want to take the whole pot, put it in the sink. Be very careful, make sure there's no one around you, especially little kids. And once again, run the cold water. So you just want to run it until you see that water is not clear. It's very cloudy right now. It's from all the powder and all the stuff that just came off. It's starch. It comes off and you run it until it's clear. Cold water, okay? Yeah, that's cold. And once it's clear like that, you just take your strainer. Want to make sure all the water drains out of it. And you can, that part's done now.